Good morning, coffee drinkers. Today I read a scripture in my daily Bible reading that is prompting me to do a semi deep dive, a quick but deep dive into my own psyche. It might help you in some way. I hope it does. So, the passage in question was when King David, had gained the throne in all of Israel, and he went and some troops went into Gaza and Philistia, that area, got the Ark of the Covenant, so that's the box that represented God's presence in Israel, got it and began to bring it back towards Israel. They put it on a cart, and the oxen that were pulling it stumbled at one point. A guy put out his hand to um, to steady it, and he was struck dead. And so they basically left the ark where it was. David got really angry, and he's freaked out because he thought he's doing the right thing, and he thought he had God's blessing. And here, what was happening was just seemed like God's cursing. So they put the ark in this guy's house, and for like 3 months, this guy does great, and David gets word of it. And so the next time, what we see is David announces, okay, only these people, because they're from the tribe of Levi, is going to carry the ark, not drag it on a cart. They're going to carry it because that's the way God wanted it to be. And he says this happened because we didn't inquire of the Lord. So here's the deep dive into my life. I have at times in my life thought God is thwarting me. God is causing difficulty. God is stopping me from doing something that I would otherwise like to do. And I would feel guilty about it, like, oh, it's because I didn't inquire of God. Now listen, what I'm about to say, I don't mean to suggest that you shouldn't seek God and see if He sort of gives you some sort of peace or sign or go ahead, thumbs up, something. But in this particular passage, it's really important to understand this. The rules about who could carry the ark, God's laws about who could carry the ark, were well defined and well explained. They were part of the Torah, the Pentateuch, the first 5 books of the Christian Bible, the first 5 books of Hebrew Scripture: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. I think it's probably in Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. Don't quote me. But those are very clear about who's supposed to carry the ark and the way it's supposed to be carried. So when David says, we didn't inquire of the Lord and that's why this happened to us, really what that means is they didn't pay attention to the revelation God had already given. So when you're faced with, okay, so here's sort of the application. It was the deep dive into my psyche, and the application for me is, when you're faced with difficulty and adversity in what you're trying to do, don't assume that God's thwarting you because you didn't ask Him, because scriptures like this show us it's the stuff that's clearly revealed in His will and His word in the Bible. So if you're violating that and you experience adversity, look to that, because that may be where God's trying to get your attention when you're not doing something you should be doing, that He's clearly designed for you to do for your long-term eternal well-being and benefit. But if it's it's just something simple, what you want to wear, plans you're making for the weekend. Look, the only thing the Bible, I don't say the only thing, but the primary message the Bible has about those situations is don't be arrogant and assume that you can make plans that are going to go the way you think they're going to go. The book of James talks about this a lot, where James says, okay, now listen, you who make plans and say, tomorrow we're going to go to this city and we're going to stay there a year and we're going to earn a profit. Nothing wrong with planning. But the presumption that all this is going to happen, he says, you don't even know what tomorrow holds. You can't say that. So that is the prohibition against, it's not even against planning, it's putting planning in perspective. But this business about getting thwarted or experience adversity or bad things happen to you on your way trying to follow through your plans, please don't live a lot of your life the way I live, to live your life the way I live a lot of my life, which is thinking, well, God's stopping me because of, some, you know, reason like I didn't ask him enough. That kind of stoppage is most often in Scripture associated with clear violations of what's important to God. So just think about that. Whatever you're experiencing now during this pandemic, or whenever you're watching this video, just keep that in mind. I hope this blesses you. Hope you have a great day. And I will talk to you later after more coffee.